Recording in progress.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called the Barbershop.
Yo, what up, folks? Welcome. It's another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Special shout out to everybody tuning in, all the fans, listeners, watchers, all that good stuff. You can catch us live right now as we speak on Twitch. You could catch us live on our YouTube channel, Facebook Live, and on our Twitter handle at Barbershop SPOR2. I am Trey Frazier, and I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me today.
Yes, sir.
What's good, man? How we feeling?
Hey, man, I don't know if you could tell, man, but the bags under my eyes are getting heavier and heavier, man, but we grinding, man.
We grinding. That's what's up. Pause. I feel you on that, man. Another rough day, man, at the office, but
I ain't gonna say rough. I ain't gonna say rough, man. I'm just gonna say, man, hey, we out here.
No doubt.
Respecting the journey, man.
Yep, I hear you, man. I hear you, bro. Hey, we got a guest coming on with us. She's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
I like this.
So I know. So I know when you saw the notes from a couple weeks ago, I know you couldn't wait for this moment. But we got a special guest coming on. She does have her own podcast. It's called the Blitzherz Podcast, which you can find on Spotify, Apple, and all the other streaming platforms. She goes by the name of Shae Mac. Used to do a podcast with some females a few months ago, but she ended that. Now she's still kind of doing her own thing, and so we'll have her on in a few minutes. Y'all got a date with the Packers coming up Sunday, and y'all just had a bye week, right?
No, we just. I mean,
the Titan. That's right. Thursday. That's right.
Thursday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The bye was the week before, or
no, the bye was like
couple weeks ago.
Something like
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, man. She'll be on in a few minutes, and we could get into all that. But first,
the messy shit.
Do we want to get into the shenanigans?
Hey man, look man, it seemed like when we get the opportunity to talk about messy shit, the guest always pops right in the middle with some flagrant shit being said. So man, I would like to see if we can keep that energy going.
Hey, let's get into it. You want to go with Cam?
Wherever you going, brother?
Yeah, let's go with Cameron on his podcast. It is what it is. No, matter of fact, it was on Stat Babies. It was on Stat Babies joints. Shout out to Stat Baby for getting their own stuff right there. But Cam was on there as like a guest, and they were interviewing. And I'm gonna get this name right, Yasmin Pendavis, but she goes by another name, right? Keisha
Champagne. Well, the porn name is Champagne Pendavis.
Pendavis. Okay.
Her name, I'm assuming this is her government, but I don't know for a fact.
Right.
Is Keisha Chavis.
Keisha Chavis. Okay, not Davis. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So she did a guest spot on there. And she was promoting something. You could probably.
Was she?
I believe she was promoting something. It was. I guess her attire was related to what she was promoting, and so.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the full episode. I saw
didn't watch the episode at all. Yeah, I saw was the clip.
I saw the clip, and so Cam and her, they going back and forth talking about this product or whatever, and then Cam just all of a sudden is like, look, I don't want to be professional, but I just got to say your cleavage is popping. Like,
oh no, yeah, I think she does like massage. She run a he asked her what kind of businesses she runs.
Yeah,
and she was talking about that she has like I guess that's a massage business or like some type of a body butter or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, some kind of shea butter, body butter kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm remembering. Now I'm remembering. Now it's coming back.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So basically made a pass at her.
Yeah.
It was funny and interesting in the conversations I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remembered they ain't get divorced or nothing. This nigga's hollering at him, going smack at a married woman.
Yeah, absolutely. He was.
I mean, I guess. Look, I ain't nobody to judge. I have had my share of going at married women in my day, but you know what I'm saying. But
you on your own. You on your own, G.
Life is real, man. That's what I'll say. Life is real.
You on your own, G.
Respect. So I thought I was like, man, he went smack. Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. He, I mean, with Cameron, you just never know. With Cameron, I'm just I guess the thing I'm interested in is this is Stat Baby's show, right? And so I'm just and that's kind of her. Is Cameron her boss? Would you consider that her boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering like what's going through her head as like they're conducting this interview and she's.
I'm sure that at this stage, I mean, look, I don't know how. I'm sure at this stage of the game, Cam or Stat rather knows that this nigga be on, and not just him, but just on the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
They be on nigga shit.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think. I mean, one thing I've observed about her is that she gonna be professional.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas is gonna go off the script and do what they do, and she goes really quick. Like she's been, you could tell that she got a future in this because she know how to handle that shit the way a moderator would handle shit. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of lets them go off, and when it's time to rein them back in, she reins them back in. So
she definitely has a future, bro. Like she's like the real deal. Like
she's a good moderator. That she's from the episodes I watch, and I don't pretend to have to watch it every week anymore. But
she'll be more. But I believe she'll be more than a moderator. As her career takes off further. In her future and endeavors and all that.
I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying what I see in her based on what I watch of her is that she understands the moderator job. Like she does that well.
Nah, I got you.
So I don't know what she does outside of that. I don't know nothing about her outside of that shit.
I don't know either. I'm just saying, well, here's what I do know. She does have a journalistic background. She went to school for journalism, got the degree and everything like that. So and this is out there because she put it out there. Already making $100 million and she's 22, 23 years old. So, props to her. Congrats to her for all that. I'm just saying, based on what I've seen, and like you said, she is a good moderator and she's great at what she does when it pertains to that show. I think she has a brighter future wherever that takes her, right?
Yeah.
Like, because who knows how long Cam and Mace do this show. And quite frankly, she could, if she wanted to, if she got something better,
outgrows it.
She could outgrow it, right? And she could move on, and Cam and Mace will still be doing their thing, whatever.
How you feel about Cam shooting a shot at Shawty in general?
In general, I thought it was funny at first. That was my initial reaction, was to laugh at the situation. And then, like you pointed out, she's still married, and I had to think about it. I'm like, damn, like this nigga went at a married woman. Like he's trying to shoot a shot.
Well, another thought I had was this just for the camera?
I think it was for the camera.
So you don't think he was shooting a shot?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
I don't. I'll be frank with you. I don't know or really care.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't care either.
Like, look,
I don't care
man.
either. And look, she laughed. She kind of laughed. She chuckled a little bit. She
diverted. So she didn't give him play back. She talked about, we'll make sure we'll find a pretty girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so
she didn't appear. I guess in other words, she didn't appear offended by what he said to her.
Sure.
If that makes any sense.
If I was a face reader, I would say that she looked like, why would you do that on TV? You know what I'm saying, that type of thing. But then I also saw that it looked like she was like, all right, well, if this how you playing, let me do it. And she acted on air. She acted like she was a married woman. So respect.
Right.
Without being offensive to him, she curved him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Professionally, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to her. I don't know what and clearly we don't know what happened off the air and all those types of things, but she professionally curved him on the joint. So respect.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. So did you watch this Max Crosby video?
Yeah, he ain't say it.
He didn't. But it sounded like he was about to, and then he caught himself.
Yeah, I don't think it sounded like need with that short
Yeah.
He could have just been trying to say need and stuttered need. I don't think for a second he picked up an NFL social media camera or his own camera that posts for the Las Vegas Raiders and almost said nigga. I'm sorry. I don't.
You think he was about to say need?
I do. I think he was reading something or trying to remember what he was to say, and he stumbled over the word need.
Okay,
that's what I think.
I gotta go back and listen to that again because it's
all you heard was "n."
Right, but I guess what I'm trying to get to is the words he said before that. So it sounded like he was trying to say we gonna need y'all "n." And then we're gonna really need.
So he could have said need, or he could have been like yes. My point is, you could have inserted any N-word in there, and it could have. Right. You know what I'm saying? Any N-word that made sense. Right. You could have said he was about to say that.
So this isn't Tony Romo, then?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. To me.
I gotta go back and listen to that again.
And I watched it again at about 5:00 today, just to make sure we weren't tripping. But I mean, look, man, I wanted to, trust me, I really wanted to come in here and throw a little sauce on the situation, but nah, he didn't. That's not what happened.
All right.
Not in my belief.
All right. Well, I might have saw it. I did a double take, and it certainly sounded like he was about to say it. At least a bunch of people, thought the same thing.
But see, and look, certainly entitled to their opinions. 100% are entitled to their opinions. But if I'm being honest, it seemed like a lot of these niggas on here are reaching on Twitter. It just feels that way. I mean, because think about the situation that he's in.
Yeah,
he's posting on his team's Twitter.
Yep.
If in fact that was even ever a thought, you think the Las Vegas Raiders wouldn't just say, "Hey, do another take where you don't stutter"?
In a perfect world, yes, but the Raiders PR or social media team has had bad situations go wrong before.
Like what?
I'm thinking it was it the. No, it was. I remember what it was. It was the George Floyd thing, where they said we can breathe now or something like that, and I forget what the. I forget the entire context of it.
Okay,
but the social media team with the Raiders put out there "We Can Breathe," and they caught so much smoke over that statement. Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
I don't even remember that.
Google that. Yeah, that's the one thing that kind of came to mind is that the history with this PR team that runs the social media is not a very good one. So
yeah, I'm not going to go to that extreme because one, that was 2016, 2000 when George Floyd happened. When
no,
was
2016.
Oh, that I'm thinking about Eric Garner. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Eric Garner.
Man.
George Floyd was
2020. 2020.
Yeah. So, but even then, there's a high probability that team that made that mistake isn't even there anymore. Based on that backlash, there's a high probability that team was fired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm not going to base Max Crosby making the mistake of accidentally he didn't say it, but
yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm not reaching like that.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Because of a PR mistake 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I'm not doing that either. Those are two totally different things. But you would ask me, would the PR team just say, "Hey, run that back"? That's what I was responding to, more so your question about would the PR team respond to Max Crosby and say, "Hey, you got to do that takeover." So that's why I bought the pass stuff.
I can't. Yeah, again, I think people are reaching on this one. I can't fathom that if they thought that was possible, or maybe they didn't possibly. Yeah, it's just a reach, bro. I'm sorry, it's just a reach. I'm trying to sort it out to try to make sense of it, how it could possibly he could have accidentally or almost said nigga on a camera, and nobody caught it. I can't put no sauce on that. I refuse to believe that he said like that. That was nothing like the Tony Romo situation. Emotion was involved in the Tony Romo situation. Like it was a whole lot going on. In the Tony Romo situation, mid broadcast where it's live and you don't even have the option to say, "Ooh, that sounds crazy. Let's do that again." You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you notice, Max Crosby was in his emotions when recording that tape. He wasn't, by the way. I'm just saying, if you notice that,
right?
As anybody, like that's common sense. I'm sorry, that's common sense. Hey, bro, that could go wrong. Do it again because we have the option of doing it again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that seems like a reach for me.
All right.
Antonio in Las Vegas Raiders news, they beat the who was it? The Giants. They beat this past week, and they passing out cigars like they won a damn Super Bowl. And
they passing out cigars because Josh McDaniels is out that damn building.
They could have did that on Wednesday. They could have did that on
make it sweeter. Make it sweeter when you get a victory.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm with you. Get your shit off. It just seemed like to me that's a little bit. That's a bit. If I'm Antonio Pierce, and I'm not. If I'm coaching the Las Vegas Raiders, like, all right, good win, y'all.
Yeah.
But a few things. We beat the Giants.
Which I thought they were gonna do anyway. Like with Josh McDaniels, I thought they were gonna do that anyway.
So I don't know. And look. My therapist been telling me about celebrating small victories. So this is kind of me hating on them celebrating their small victory. But that's I'm growing every day. No homo. I'm just in my that just seemed a bit excessive to me.
Let them celebrate.
But let them get this shit off. I agree with you.
They had. I mean, you should have heard some of the stuff coming out of there. They niggas is talking about walking on eggshells in the building, like niggas not even like they feel like they inputs not respected and all this stuff, and and all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, aside from the Devontae Adams stuff, the Josh Jacobs situation, and all that.
Yeah.
And you get
small
that
victories,
and you get that dude out the building along with the GM and benching the quarterback and getting the other guy up out of there, the OC. Man, it feels like a big weight off your shoulders. So for them to and I'll say this, they would have beat the Giants with Josh McDaniels anyway. I don't think they would have beat them 30-6 with Josh McDaniels.
Sure.
So I think in the fashion of how they beat this team, I think adds to the elation of, hey man, we got a fresh start, we got a black coach. I know they're not saying that. I'm just throwing that in there. I'm throwing that in there. But they got a new voice in there that's leading them, and we'll see what happens. They got a favorable matchup against the Jets coming up Sunday night.
Yeah.
And if they could get that one, they're 5-5, and who knows? Like at that point, if you're the Raiders, you kind of feel like, hey, it's house money at this point. We got a chance, and they still got to see the Chiefs twice. They got to see Denver again. They got to see the Chargers again. Minnesota's on that schedule, and we'll see where it takes them. I think their season comes to an end week 18, but we'll see how it shapes out. And big shout out to Daniel Jones. He tore his ACL in that game, well. So get well soon. Yeah. The Giants season is a mess at this point. Yeah. we could say, well, it's already been a mess.
Let's be clear. Yeah. It's been a mess.
Yeah. It just continues to get worse at this point. So looks like we got the guest here right now. So let me go ahead and introduce her to the show. She goes by the name of Shae Mac, host of the Blitzherz Podcast, also a Steelers super fan. You can catch the podcast on any of your social media platforms, Google Play, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast at. Shae, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming in, and finally we're able to get you on. I know it's been several, well, I would say at this point, maybe a couple of months ago, I had reached out to you to try to get you on here, but we finally got you in. So welcome to the show. How's everything?
Everything's going well. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So I guess we got to do all the podcast appropriate things, because I want to get into Steelers talk. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm trying to get straight to the shit that interests me and that I love here. But talk to us about your start podcast and then your podcast.
So the end of the mic bomb or Blitzherz?
Blitzherz. Yeah, Blitzherz. But we can go into the podcast that you just wrapped up also.
No, let me do it. Let's do podcast history.
Podcast history. So it really started for me. I wanted to get it started while I was in college, but obviously being a student, it's hard to juggle, courses, because you have to be certain requirements to graduate, just managing your life as a college student. So I decided to hold that off until I graduated, which was 2021 of May. And that's when I decided to start a podcast, which was the Mic Bomb, which started 2021 of that September. So when that happened, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm really liking this. So I just started using that as a multiple platform. Obviously, ended up doing better than I thought it originally would. So I decided just to take off with that. And then, well, here I am.
That's what's up. So how long have you been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
It's been since I was 5.
Okay.
Ranging between the ages 5 and 8. When I was really getting into football, obviously growing up in New Jersey, you know about the Giants, you know about the Jets, but it's like, man, you could turn the TV away from them, but for whatever, I just couldn't turn away from the Steelers games. And then I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me. He was a Steelers fan, which is how I discovered the Steelers. Obviously, coming from a diverse family of football fans, it's a little bit of everybody. It ain't just homers that just likes the Giants or the Jets. Ironically, though, neither sides of my family is filled with Jets fans. So it's like only 25% Giant fans from my mom's side and only like 50%, Giant fans from my dad's side. But I think what it was, ironically, about my Steeler fandom is that I picked the Steelers because obviously players like Troy Polamalu, that's number one. Ben would obviously go number 2. who's my all-time favorite QB. And then you have Willie Parker, who I just enjoyed watching when I was a kid, because to me, he was a spark to a lot of old school Steeler games
For
that
sure.
was missing.
For sure.
That's when I just kept watching more and more Steeler games. Plus, I definitely dig the uniforms. To me, I like those better than I like the Giants and the Jets uniforms. It was just like, don't get me wrong, the Giants had some good years here. You know, I never really cared for the Jets, never really looked at them as a football team until I got older. But it's just something about it was just something about the Steelers that I just couldn't turn away from. You know, it definitely is a generational football thing, was what I call the Steelers, because it's like it's multiple generations of fans. So it's just like, and it's within one family tree. And well, let's just say that ironically, my family is the embodiment of that, because when I discovered my biological grandfather's side of the family, find out they're loaded of Steeler Nation. So it's just like, it was just in be a Steeler fan.
Here we go.
Well, listen, because I'm from New York myself. I was born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn, and I think the best decision you made was not being a Jets fan. I know a bunch of Jets fans. I know a bunch of Giants fans. You know, Giants fans will always say that they are big brother to the Jets, and so
they are.
So yeah, you made the best decision in not rooting for that team.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the state, and I know we're gonna get into the state of the AFC North, but I definitely want to get into how you feeling about the Steelers as a team right now, 5-3, off a win to the Titans. That we got the running game going magically this past Thursday, and we hoping for some continued success there. But how you feel about the Steelers as a whole so far, halfway through the season?
So as a whole, I'll say this. They are their record at this point. That's really how I feel about that. Obviously, you know, I'm 100% confident in our, you know, in our defense. I really like what Terrell Austin has been doing since he took over. So when people sit here and holler, "Oh, fire Terrell Austin," to me, it's just absurd, because it's clear that you're just not paying attention to the impact he has made since he's became the coordinator. His side of the ball is arguably, you know, back-to-back years has been injured or dealt with the most injuries outside of the Ravens here, in any, like, you know, any side of the ball of the NFL. So it's like the fact that, you know, you find some way for every freaking phase of your defense to finish, you know, top 5, top 10 in the categories that matter most, that says a lot about you as a coordinator, you know. And the players spoke really highly of him when he was promoted to DC after the departure of Keith Butler due to retirement. So our defense, I'm really enjoying. I think they would definitely be ranked higher. They are a side of a ball who is way better than their rankings. So, you know, I just feel like slowly but surely, because of that along with the run game that you did mention that's starting to come alive, we're starting to trend back to the Steelers that we know and love. The only thing I feel like, one, I gotta say it, Matt Canada go as of yesterday. I'm gonna start there with the offense.
Yep.
He has to go as of yesterday. To me, he should have been shopped out of here the first half of 2021 season. I've said this before when everybody was pointing fingers at Ben, in some way you could blame him, but he took too much fault for that. But as for the 2023 season, I think it's clear as day who's the common denominator, who's the ultimate problem, and that is Matt Canada. And it's not just affecting the offense, but it's affecting the entire team. You know, your special teams is short fieldage because of that. Your defense is short fieldage because of that. The reason why, you know, I feel like our offense is not leading the league in turnovers right now in this offense is because of who the quarterback is. And I think he's not getting the credit he deserves, because there's a lot of things we know that Trubisky would have done that Kenny just don't do. One is turning the ball over, costing your team to lose the turnover battle, which definitely will put your team in a hole. So it's like the Steelers are their record because, let's face facts here, look who the head coach is at this point. You know, this is why when people were saying earlier in the offseason that the Steelers are going to be dead last in the division, I don't understand how when one team like the Browns is known for being below 500 versus a team who has not been since 2003 and who has never been under Mike Tomlin. Mm-hmm. So I'll just say this: they are their record. That's what I say.
Well, I'll say this, Shae, because we've done several different AFC North roundtables in the offseason leading up to the start of the season, and one of the things that I've said with this division is that it wouldn't shock me to see all four of these teams make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin, he's been there for what? This is 17th season. 17th season, hasn't had a losing season yet. And to me, it sounds like they're in for another 9-win season. Like they're gonna get at least 9 wins. That could still equate to them still finishing last in this division just for this year. And I'm just talking about this season because of the schedule, who we play, the quarterbacks, and things like that. So to the folks that have said that they're, that the Steelers are going to be in last place, I'm not sure what they're thinking the record's going to be, but I agree with them in the sense that because all the teams play a soft schedule, that there's a chance that all four of these teams can get in, and it's possible the Steelers can still finish last.
Well, let me go ahead and jump in here. Ain't no way in hell we about to be number 4 in the AFC North. Let's just go ahead and get that about the way. You don't know who Deshaun. Now, here's one thing I'll say. Third is way more sensible because we see Joey Burrow starting to cook. Yep. So yeah, that might be there. But Nick Chubb gone for the year. The Browns are still the Browns.
Yeah, they 5-3. They 5-3.
And respect. Yeah, they got a top 5 defense right now. So respect.
Yep.
But that running game ain't the same. God bless Kareem Hunt, and I know Jerome Ford has been injured. I believe
he's been injured.
Yeah. So, but we don't know what Deshaun Watson's about to be.
Yeah,
and
right.
More importantly, as inconsistent as we've been on offense, our defense scoring points.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense scoring points. So, and that's how we beat Cleveland earlier this year.
Yeah, the turnovers, the touchdowns.
Defense is scoring points. So, with that being said, there's no way we are about to be last in the North. And look, man, I might be in my bag because I got another Steelers fan on the podcast. I don't see why we can't finish second.
Well, first,
go ahead, Shae. Go ahead.
I was going to top it off by saying or first because, obviously our roadblock right now in the division based off how things are the Ravens. We just going to call it like it is. And everyone's calling me crazy when I said I would not be surprised if the AFC North comes down between the two teams that it usually would come down between. It's the Steelers and the Ravens. And it's because, one, this is clearly a run game and defensive division. You know, going to be able to get off in this division what you got off with other teams. You're not, especially with defenses like the Ravens, especially with defenses like the Steelers. And I told everyone, one thing I'm seeing with both the Ravens and Steelers teams is they're starting to get back to their old ways. And that just don't spell good news for the two other teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Even with Cincinnati and what they've done the last several weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on that. Without question, what they've done is impressive. Obviously, they did what many people didn't give them a chance to, which was beat the Buffalo Bills. I believe it was 2 or 3 times straight consistently. You got to give credit where too. It was a hell of a performance for Joe Burrow.
49ers,
49ers as well, definitely played his ass off that game.
Yep.
But you look at those games, who lost the turnover battle?
I don't know.
I watched that game. I can tell you the bank. I mean, Niners. They lost the turnover battle.
Yeah. Right.
Burrow and Joe Mixon, them guys, did what I advise anyone not to do if you want a great shot of winning a game. Don't lose the turnover battle. To me, and this is maybe my, biasness, but 9 times out of 10, the team that wins the game, no matter how they wins by winning the turnover battle.
Yep.
And the Bengals has been that team for these past couple of weeks. And they forced, at least, I believe, 2-3 turnovers per game during this winning streak, versus Arizona, versus San Francisco, versus Buffalo, where to me, they was just careless with the ball last Sunday, but another conversation for another day. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow and guys, they made them pay for it. I don't think it's going to work like that in AFC North, because the one thing Kenny does not do very frequently that others don't give him credit for is turn the ball over. Lamar Jackson has done, has limited is his turnovers. And then you have the Ravens running backs, who I don't think does have turnovers this year, but you would know more about that than I would, but I haven't seen them or haven't seen them.
Justice Hill has had his fair share of fumbles early on in the season, but I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to get less carries. And this kid Mitchell, Keaton Mitchell, that had a big day on Sunday against Seattle. I think that's going to be your 1-2 punch is going to be him and Gus Edwards moving forward. So I'm not worried about Justice Hill at all at this point.
How you feeling about Kenny Pickett in year 2?
I feel that he needs to start reading defenses better. He needs to give himself more time, but I also feel he needs to have a more competent offensive line that gives him more time. I just feel like Kenny is not as bad as people think. To say that he's not the answer, like I said, is absurd, because we need to see how he is in a real offensive, NFL system. Need to see a real NFL offensive coordinator. Like I said, Matt Canada needs to be out of here regardless of yesterday, regardless of how the outcome of the season is going to be. That's what I feel is going to happen anyway. So whether the Steelers will go 0-16 or 16-0, which obviously is impossible right now because they've already lost 3 games, but regardless of where they land and how the season plays out, Matt Canada is out of here regardless. So need to see him going first. I need to see them put better effort into hiring an offensive coordinator. I don't want to see any more in-house hires.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't work out. You need to go and shop for someone.
I agree.
That Tomlin needs to allow people to start doing their jobs more and need to understand that this is a team and staff unit, not just a U unit. Otherwise, we might be in the same boat that we was in with the previous 2 coordinators, especially this one. So I think if Kenny Pickett would have a better offensive coordinator, the things that's being said about him now would not be said about him tomorrow. So I feel like we need to get rid of the offensive coordinator, because I think the talent is there, but the creativity for the talent is not. And it's hard to capitalize and produce in an offense, in an office system that anyone and a grandmother can just look at how you're lined up and tell what you're going to do. You're playing top defensive teams at least twice a year, like the Ravens here, who's just going to sit there and just look like, okay, they're doing this, and now we know we don't have to do much. You don't want that, because then it makes it hard, especially against pass rushes like that, because say if you are playing Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith tomorrow, might get picked apart. But I think with Trubisky, you'll get picked apart. I think Kenny, though, will use his brain better and just know, like, okay, I got to get rid of the ball here and there, or throw it out of bounds, or things like that. So I think things will be a hell of a lot more chaotic if Kenny was not the starting quarterback. So he's the guy, but we need to see him in a better system. The only issue I got with Kenny, you're not making the throws you need to be making.
Yep.
You're not reading the defenses the way you need to be reading. But Mahomes said it best. It's going to take at least 3 years for someone to be able to properly read a defense. So I feel like come next year, it's either do or die for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I see my issue with Kenny Pickett, and I'll be honest, I'm riding with my quarterback because that's who was drafted. But I didn't want him. I didn't care for him to be drafted at all. I would have rather had Mitch Trubisky and we be trash, and then we actually wait for somebody who I know who's going to come in and make an impact immediately. That's how I felt when it happened. But he had a couple of fourth quarter comebacks. All right, cool. I know he's capable of throwing the ball. I'm riding with him, so I'm here now. My issue with Kenny Pickett, I agree with you 100%. Our offense is being called in a very vanilla manner. If I see another game where more than 3 jet sweeps are ran, I'm a rip my TV off the fucking wall. I'm tired of seeing jet sweeps and dumbass situations where we just trying things and hoping it stick. Let's be very, very clear. And I know George Pickens came out in the media and had some little subliminal issues, but he's right. Throw him the damn ball. Throw it in double coverage. Throw it in.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Throw the ball.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Throw the ball.
Because I saw him, do the little thing with his social media and all this stuff, and quite frankly, he's right.
He's right.
He's right. Did they not? I watched the Tennessee game, and one catch,
wide open.
Yeah, one catch for 2 yards. Like, yeah, that ain't gonna cut it.
He was open. Let's be clear. He was this game and the Jacksonville game.
I saw.
He was open.
I agree. And that's the thing with Kenny. And then sometimes he forced the ball to Pickens and the passes get broken up when Deontay's one-on-one wide open. Yeah. I think he just need to work more on his reads and his timing. I think the accuracy is still there, but it's just the timing when you throw the football was just not there. So he just needs to work more on his timing and, just being able to read defenses. And I think he'll be okay because he already told us that, he already showing us that one, you could take a hit, which to me need to be able to do to play to play in a division like the AFC North, which still to this day is the most physical division in the entire NFL. Yeah. But I also feel like he just needs to work on his timing because these are not some of the best defense. These are not just some of the best defenses in the league, but these are some of the fastest defense in the league. That means they're going to come at you. They're not here. Some defenses or, these teams probably still have some nostalgia moments from Ben Roethlisberger era. They're not going to sit there and give you that time to be able to throw the football. So you got to be quick. You got to be quick on your feet, which something I think he needs to work on as well is knowing when to escape the pocket. But it's just minor things that can definitely be fixed within one off season. It's not, to me, as big of an issue as everyone trying to make it seem. And I think the thing about it is that everyone's expecting too much of Ben Roethlisberger out of Kenny Pickett. And it's day that you're not going to really get that because these are two different players, two different eras, two different styles of football. So you're not going to be able to get that hard-nosed, old school quarterback. You're not getting that no more. And that's what made guys like Ben so special that we never seen guys like that before, especially in that position outside of Brett Favre. And then, we're most likely not going to see it again. Like the best shot we have right now is Josh Allen, but he's not even making the mark.
And lastly on Kenny Pickett, stop spinning into the damn blitz.
That too.
Stop spinning into the damn blitz.
Cut out the pocket, man. Cut out the pocket and throw.
Get it out. Just get it out, bro. Just get it out, man. Because that's enough. I'm tired of seeing him spin out the blitz because it'd be one thing if he was spinning the right way, but it seems almost consistently, or not even almost, pretty damn consistent that he spins right into the shit he was trying to get away from. So that's a lack of pocket awareness, and you need to get that. He need to get that together. But I agree with you that next year is the year where we got to say, all right, is this dude the dude or not? And a mind fuck that happened is that he was so good in the preseason. He was
going back to that Buffalo game.
He tricked me, dog. He tricked me. Me.
What I really think it is? I don't even really think it was Kenny. I think it was the play calling. That's what I think that's holding Kenny back. It's the play calling. It's just that Canada just keeps deviating from what works. And it's like, I'm a firm believer. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But obviously, everybody but Matt Canada, I believe, is a firm believer of that. But it's just the same plays that we're seeing in the preseason, that we saw in the preseason, we're not seeing now. And everyone's like, okay, where the hell is these plays that we, this play calling that we saw in the preseason? That's what we want to see. And that's what got everybody pumped up. It's like, okay, no jet sweeps, no this. We're taking shots down the field, which to me, he does very well. He's not afraid to throw the football. He's not afraid to take those hits. He's not afraid to make those passes. And that's why I think they're in the right position right now with Kenny. But I feel like the play calling is holding him back. Like I said, it's hard. Unlike those play callings, the plays that were called in the preseason, these are too damn predictable. And it's like, it's hard for you to succeed in an office that's so predictable when everyone and their grandmother, those, especially even those who never played football a day in their lives, knows what you're going to do, and it's like, when I'm saying that I could call a better play, or even I could be able to pick your offense apart, that's a problem. And to me, that's not even a player situation. That's a coaching situation, because you're the one who comes up with creativity, and that falls on your coordinator.
Yeah, and Najee Harris is suffering from it. Let's be very clear. He's suffering from it crazy.
Another person who's getting too much slander.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I had a question, because I don't think she talked about how she felt about the offensive line play. I just wanted you to kind of elaborate on how you're feeling about how the line's been doing up to this point.
I knew that the line would have its kinks. I didn't expect to have a perfect offensive line, but I did expect better than what I'm seeing right now.
Way better.
I think, though, it goes back to what I said about Kenny's play. It's hard to succeed in an offensive system that's so predictable, because now everybody know what you're going to do. They already have their plan A, B, C, D, and so on. Now they're just going to keep coming at you. And when you're playing top defenders, it's so hard to block them, because it's like you can't block them all, unfortunately. I think the offensive line, though, needs to stay healthy. They need to start working better with reps. They need to know who's going to be the starters, or a better idea of who's starting material or starter material and who isn't. And I think that's a problem, because to me, Broderick Jones should have been starting since day one. He is a better option. The run game, to me, has gotten better because the right guy was there for the right moments. I think that definitely should continue. So I feel like this offseason, you're also going to be stacking on, you probably will be looking for a quarterback, because I don't see them signing Mitchell Trubisky back.
Yeah.
You also will be stacking the O-line. You might be shopping for another receiver. You might be shopping for another tight end, depending on how the Pat Freiermuth situation works out.
I think we are 100% shopping for a cornerback.
A cornerback as well, but, we're speaking on offense right now. But yes, a cornerback is definitely top 2 on my list. But I just feel like the O-line is going to get better as time goes, and they should just keep it like it is for right now.
I'm with you. So let's I guess kind of broaden the talk into the AFC as a whole. So I'm gonna give you a little exercise, and Trey, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna segue into this conversation that you put on the topics.
Yep.
Rank the AFC from let's say 1 to 7 playoffs. Who are the best teams? 1 to 7 best teams right now.
I think the record speaks for themselves.
Okay.
I'll start there. But obviously, the seedings are what they are. But to me, I would probably move the Ravens to number 1. I will switch them in Kansas City, because the Chiefs losing to the Broncos is an embarrassment. And people will probably be like, oh, well, the Ravens lost to the Steelers. But here's the deal.
Well, Shae, and let me add to that. We blew one to the Colts. That was embarrassing at home.
But guess what? Here's a fun fact. The Colts and the Steelers are both better teams than the Denver Broncos.
Facts.
The Chiefs, your Super Bowl, your Super Bowl celebration, your Super Bowl banner celebration, you lose the home opener. Then you turn around, even though the Lions are a pretty good team this year, then you turn around and then you practically get shut out in Denver, where you was just minimized to, I believe it was like 9 points. So that's not a good thing to a team that's been giving up.
Hey, Shae, the Broncos was fed up. They had lost 16 straight to them. They said no more.
Yeah, but these are the same Broncos teams who ironically got 70 dropped on them by a team that you just practically, shut out until like the last minutes of the game.
Right.
So it's just like, it's a little bit of everything. So, the AFC is pretty tricky this year. You don't know what can happen. So I just feel like, honestly, get anyone in the dance, anything can happen this year. Because to me, there are no favorites. But on paper, you got to put the Ravens number 1.
Ravens.
Chiefs number 2. I put the Jaguars number 3.
Okay.
Yep. I agree with that.
I said the AFC South was going to be a bloodbath this year, and that's kind of what it's looking like because Houston's no joke, and then you got Tennessee who's just hanging in there, even with all their deficiencies of injuries and things of that nature. And obviously, dead last in that division, I believe. Dead last in that division. Okay, we mentioned, the rank is in that division is what it is right now. I can't remember off the top of my head if those.
You just forgot. The only team left out was the Colts, and we know they playing tough.
Okay. So pretty pretty tough division right there.
Yep.
So then Jags number 3. Obviously number 4 would be who would I put number 4?
Would it be one of them East teams?
The East teams. So I guess the Dolphins would go number 4 because the
Dolphins
came.
Okay.
And have been taking care of the football better than the Bills. Or you know what? You probably could put the Bills over the Dolphins because they blew out the Dolphins.
Smacked them. Yeah.
Yep.
So it could be a juggernaut between them two teams. Number 5, I don't care what anyone say, I'm putting my Steelers. 2-0 against two teams who don't have more than 3 losses says a lot about you as a divisional opponent. And then you're being 5-3. 5-3 is 5-3. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
So like everyone's saying, oh, this offense, this offense, this offense, that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want to dare have that offense turn up like it did the second half of last season. Otherwise, this team may not hold another L unless it's to the Ravens. Because I looked at that schedule yesterday. You don't want to see that offense that was there the second half
of last year.
With this defense, with everyone from this defense practically coming back, but Holcomb, who's unfortunately I think is out for the year. You don't want that. I'm telling everyone you don't want that.
I'm with you. I'm riding. Oh, you ain't got to convince me. I'm riding.
I'll put the Steelers number 5 right now because you can't be top 4 and you're not leading your division. Number 6, I'm putting the Browns. I'm sorry because I'm gonna tell you why I'm putting the Browns. Look, they're doing it without their powerhouse.
Yeah, they're doing.
Everyone threw in the towel for the Cleveland Browns when Chubb went down week 2.
Yeah.
Everyone. And
including me.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all did.
It's because Chubb is known for being their offense.
He was cooking us that game. Yeah,
the identity. So it's like Chubb was the backbone to that offense, or is the backbone to that Cleveland Brown offense. And he probably told them to hold it down for him until he gets back or things of that nature. That's fine. And they've been doing a great job at that. Deshaun Watson has limited his turnovers. So did the backup quarterbacks. They've been coming off impressive wins against teams like San Francisco and others. Seattle. We know they lost to Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
So, but, it just, when you do all of this without your power back or without your powerhouse, without the enforcer on your offense, you got to give credit where it's due. And let's not act like they, slapped the Bengals week 1. So I put you over this team who has the same record as you. And I think the record and the rankings in this division speaks for itself. You can't go 0-2 in the AFC North division and think you about to just bounce to the top 5 when 3 at least, okay, I've counted at least, when 3 other teams has at least 1 loss or none. So it's hard for you to be that. But obviously number 7, I'm going to give to the Bengals because they have not lost the game, I believe, since week 3. They have beat teams like Buffalo and San Francisco, who are 500 better record teams, who definitely has great shots of winning their division. And they have been playing well offensively. Like I said, they have not lost the turnover battle, which I highly recommend anyone to not do because to me, that determines the game. You can't lose the turnover battle and then just think you're about to, just feel like you're entitled to win the entire game. It just doesn't work like that. So that's my rankings right now, but I think it's pretty fair based off how the outcome of this season has been so far.
Okay, so I'm a follow up with a question and bring Trey into the conversation. Is Buffalo still? Me and Trey, this is a conversation we have. I'm gonna say weekly about big boy teams, meaning teams that are directly in competition for Super Bowls. We ain't talking about playoffs. We ain't talking about 1-round exits, or we talking about teams that are directly in competition to win the Super Bowl. do you consider Buffalo, who you at ranked number 4, still a big boy team in the AFC?
It's a toss-up between them and the Dolphins for the number 4 spot. I'm gonna give it to the Dolphins though, based on the outcomes of this division.
Yeah, she left out Buffalo out of her list.
Oh, I thought she left out Miami because Buffalo beat that ass.
Well, I said it was a toss-up.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
You could definitely rank those, but based off how the outcome of things are, they both coming off pretty bad losses, but Buffalo had an opportunity and blew it, so it's hard for me to put them right there in that top 4, and you're doing crap like that, and you're losing to a team that's not even in the top 5 right now, not in my rankings. But
okay.
Like I said, answer your question about the Buffalo Bills. I don't think this year would be the year for them to win the Super Bowl. I just think that they got too many deficiencies. I think Josh Allen needs to take care of the football better. And a lot of people, Bills Mafia might get on me if they see this and be like, well, you guys have Big Ben, who would usually turn the ball over. But it's like Ben took care of the ball at the right moments. And have the defense that Ben Roethlisberger had to, help him get out of certain situations. I won't say bail him out because that's disrespectful towards his game, but get him out of situations. You guys don't have that. You don't have that Dick LeBeau-like defense. You don't. And I think the closest thing right now to this league, to that defense, is the defense in Baltimore, and it sucks that I got to say that. But it's just that. But I will definitely not rule the Bills out in the playoffs. Their loss to the Bengals could definitely come back and haunt them, especially if Cincinnati keeps winning. But the one thing that could help out Buffalo is the matchup this week versus the Texans, who is no joke. And then you got the Ravens in Baltimore the following week, which I am going to pick the Ravens until further notice, unless I see something that might shift, favoritism of the game. But
all right, so Trey, I'm gonna bring you in here, man. But and when I saw you put this in the notes, I'm on to your shit, bro. This is what I feel like you did. So Seattle gets smoked. They get their fucking boots smoked by Baltimore Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And obviously Buffalo loses an important litmus test game to Cincinnati.
Yep.
And what I think you're trying to do, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Is that because I think we agreed at some point of this year, even though my prediction was my prediction, I ain't going to rehash that.
Right.
I'm not going to rehash it.
Let's say no what your prediction is.
Okay, my prediction preseason was that Buffalo wasn't going to make the playoffs. That was my prediction. There's no need to rehash it. I was wrong. We was his
Whoa, you're not wrong yet. You're not wrong yet, bro.
Sure,
no, because now
I'm wrong. I get you.
You're not wrong yet. And
I get you.
I'll go a little bit deeper in that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I get you. And just for so I don't feel so bad because I saw your eyes widen up.
Mm-hmm.
Trey thought that the Chicago Bears would win the NFC North. That was his bowl. That was his what? Yeah, right.
I did.
So I just wanted your eyes to open up like it did for me.
I did. And I was totally wrong about that. I will own that.
Yeah. So with that being said, what Trey is trying to do, and look, I wrote it down exactly like this. I quote in my notes, This is Baltimore Ravens success shit, which absolutely talking shit, but I'd be more concerned with Miami being a big boy team than Buffalo, one, and two, this is your way of trying to get Buffalo off the big boy conversation so you can propel Baltimore to the big boy conversation because preseason, we agreed
right
preseason that Baltimore was on that kind of second tier.
Right.
This is the time. Now, what I think I think two things could be true.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave Buffalo there. But right now, Baltimore has entered that big boy conversation in their play this year.
Right.
So right now, Baltimore is in that big boy conversation. Right now, I might be a victim, and I don't even like talking this much about Baltimore, and I'm gonna shit on them in a couple of seconds. Right now, Baltimore looks like the team that's coming out the AFC. They do.
Right now, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah,
they look like
I agree with that.
They look like the team that's coming out of the AFC.
Yeah, and I said this, and I said this too, and Shae, just so in your hair, I said this team was going to the Super Bowl. I said that I think the Ravens, yes, that I think this team can get to the Super Bowl. You can ask any guest that we've had on here, Rita the NFL chick. You can ask anybody. I said, hey, I think this team's got enough that they can get to a Super Bowl this year. But to the Buffalo conversation. So no, I'm not trying to lower Buffalo to upgrade the Ravens into the big boy team. I guess my point is that we can have expectations of a team coming into the season, right? And our expectations for Buffalo was that they're one of the big boys. AFC Championship game, couple of divisional round, exits to teams that have gotten to the Super Bowl the past couple of years. Josh Allen being a top 5 quarterback, the Bills being a somewhat of a top 10 defense kind of a thing. All those things are true, right? So we coming into this season, and I'm not liking the play of Josh Allen, right? I'm like, his play is different this year than it was last year, right? The back end of the defense has some injury issues, and it's glaring in some of the games you watch, particularly in the Bengals game on Sunday. Like, it's glaring that they got issues on that back end. Milano is out for the rest of the year. That's a big loss for the Bills. And when you look at the schedule, and I'm combining these things to kind of get to my point here. Their play right now, their record at 5-4, and combined with who they got to go see. They got to see the Philadelphia Eagles in a few weeks. They got to go see the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. They got to play their division. They got to go to Miami on the road. And history tells me that the Bills don't do very well in Miami in that heat. And yes, it's December, it's late, fall, whatever, but it's still hot down there, right? So you got that. The Jets are terrible, but that defense can give Josh Allen fits, right? So that won't be easy. I'm missing another game on the schedule. The Cowboys. You got the Cowboys coming up, right?
Yeah.
In Dallas?
In Buffalo. Buffalo. A little maybe easier for them, but that's still not going to be an easy matchup. They got 5 legitimate tough games on their schedule, and they're 5-4 right now. And so their trajectory combined with what they got coming up, to me, it's okay to lift that big boy tag off of them in the middle of the season, because I just don't think with how the AFC looks right now that they might miss out. Worst case scenario, they might get the 7th seed. Worst case scenario.
So their recency bias and recency bias doesn't count for anything. Just when we're talking about them being a big boy team.
Yep.
This is my thing.
Yep.
This is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You pay them the respect until they fall off. That's my thing. So so I get it. They're not playing the best football right now, and let's be clear who they lost to last was it Sunday night?
Bengals.
That's not like Joe Burrow is cooking. Like, as much as we wanted to bury the Bengals and 0-2, and we wanted to bury them. We fell for the okie doke because they started slow last year.
Right.
They may have started slow the year before that and went to the fucking Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So like Joe Burrow finds a way around this time for the past 2 years to get there. And they're right back in the conversation. So Buffalo caught Cincinnati at the wrong time of the year is what I'm proposing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So look, obviously you make a great point. They got 5 tough games coming up, but I gotta see them losing those games. I like of those 5. And I don't know in what order.
I don't remember the order, but those are the tough games left on their schedule.
They lose 3 of those games in succession, then hear me good. I'm about to cake up on the little betting pool. I'm about to cake up on the betting pool if they lose these next 3 tough games. They're not making the playoffs. They lose them next 3 games. And I ain't even gonna share the bread because I don't let y'all niggas in my pockets. But
I'm not asking.
I'm just letting it be known.
I'm not asking.
My bread, get my kids some shoes or something. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Give me
Christmas time coming up.
Give me some good tree. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sharing none of it.
So I got a question. Ahead. So, because it sounded like it correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you're giving the Bills a pass for losing to Cincinnati at the wrong time.
No, what I'm saying is all I'm saying is they lost to a really good team.
Yeah,
and you know when you are a really good team that has a schedule of really good teams, you're not gonna win all of them.
Right.
So no, it's not a pass. The Buffalo Bills aren't playing like that team right this second.
Yep.
And let's be clear, they scored 18 points. It's not like this wasn't a shootout. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This was a game where they couldn't score more than 18 points, and Cincinnati only needed 24.
Yeah. Right. So, I guess we see it differently. So, Shae, how do you see it as far as Buffalo? The rest of the season, and just kind of, are they still in that echelon? Do you take that tag from them right now, or do you leave that tag on them until you see them falter?
To me, it just depends on the expectations. But right now, I'm going to take the tag off because of all the deficiencies that you guys have mentioned, along with others that I saw, that Josh Allen's just not taking care of the football like he's supposed to be. The running game is not getting going like it needs to be. And to me, if you're going to be in the playoffs, especially this year, you need to know how to run the football, which is why I'm glad that teams like my Steelers are starting to run the damn football. But back to the Buffalo Bills, you got to get the run game going. They have been failing to do that slowly but surely this year, especially last game. You're Josh Allen. No matter what the circumstances are, you have to know how to take care of the football better. Once again, this is another matchup versus the Bengals where you were unable to take care of the football. The one thing I always campaign about all the time, do not lose the turnover battle. The Bills have costing themselves games because they've been losing the turnover battle. You threw an interception one of the first passes of the game. You turned around and you fumbling when you're in Cincinnati's red zone. You cannot do that when you have such vulnerability in your DB room outside of Jordan Poyer. That's Poyer. Correct me.
Yeah.
And you cannot do that. You have your cornerback Tre'Davious White out for the year. You know this already. So, boom, there's a huge blow to your cornerback room. You didn't really address it as much as you should have this offseason, which I highly recommended the Buffalo Bills to do. And they didn't. So now we're back to stage 1 of where we were last year when Tre'Davious White was injured. So it's just like, I will take them out the conversation for a Super Bowl, but I'm not ready to take them out the playoffs because we know what happens when Josh Allen is at home in Buffalo. We know that's one of the toughest places to play. This is the same Buffalo Bills team who shellacked that Miami Dolphins team that everybody's still on, even though their defense to show some vulnerability, even with all their starters still there in the lineup.
Yeah.
So it's just like the AFC East is going to be pretty tricky this year. It's going to be, I think, the only team that you can rule out like that. Well, now you can rule out the Jets because they're starting to stink. So I them and the Patriots, you could definitely take out the conversation right now based off the team circumstances.
They've been out the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
we got to dig that shovel deeper in the Patriots. So for all them years of consistency and Super Bowls, we got to keep digging that grave.
Quarterback than it was anything else with those, but it's hard to replace Tom Brady, and I think that's the thing with the Patriots. They're trying to make Mac Jones Tom Brady, and he's not. You know, you gotta understand your quarterback's strengths and weaknesses, and you gotta play the game according to that. And I think that was also the Steelers' issue at one point with Kenny. You know, you gotta gel these guys in as they go along. And this goes back to a little bit of what I used to say a lot about Tomlin and our Rooney, is that they slowly but surely, you know, failing Kenny in a way that, you know, Dan Rooney and Bill Cowher refused to fail Big Ben. You know, you can't just be throwing guys in the wool, you know, into the fire and be like, hey, go do this, go do this, go do that. You got to let these guys gel, but you got to put them in a competent offensive system where they'll be able to do so. But back to the Buffalo Bills, I'm not ready to throw them out of the playoffs because we don't know how the AFC East is going to turn out. The Dolphins is not beat a 500 or better team here. The Bills are that team. And then they got a couple of tough games coming up. I don't have the schedule on me right now, but they got a couple of tough games against 500 better teams coming up. So that matters. Because eventually that will catch up to you. Are you really this team that everybody think you are? Or are you, you know, this fraudulent team that at least 3/4 of your division will still say you are, even if they're being biased towards their own team? That's the question mark about the Dolphins still to this day. And I think last Sunday against the Chiefs in Germany proved that. You got to highlight that. And the reason why we're still leading your division is because, well, we'll give credit where it's due. The Bengals took care of business where they needed the most.
Yep. Yeah. And Buffalo's been mid. That they've been playing mid football. They ain't no way to slice it. I ain't no other way to slice it. Let's talk about the NFC real quick, Trey. Dallas and the Philadelphia Eagles. They played the barn burner the other night, and
great fucking game.
Talk about your takeaways from that Dallas and Philadelphia game.
My takeaways.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
My takeaways. The Cowboys just might be a better team than people give them credit for. Dak is definitely improving in the pocket and within his accuracy and decision making, which you're definitely going to need if you're the Cowboys. The running game with Tony Pollard is getting going, so that's good signs and shows good life. The defense is definitely getting to the ground when it matters most. Micah Parsons has shown why he's that X factor, that difference maker, that enforcer that he is on that defense. I think that, to me, the Cowboys D-line is arguably the most underrated D-line in the entire league right now because they're not being given their flowers when they should and how they should be. But going back to Philadelphia, obviously I picked the Eagles to win that game, but it's not because they're that much of a better team divisionally, but it's because they at home. I ain't see Cowboys winning that game at home. It's real hard to go into Philadelphia and win. They are slowly but surely making that, if they haven't already, the toughest place to play right now at home.
Yeah.
And that matters. You know, that matters because that's definitely going to matter if the postseason play out than how it is right now, come January and February, things like that. So I feel like that game was just arguably game of the year. You know, it was back and forth action. You didn't know really what was going to happen. It definitely came down to the wire, which many, like I predicted. It was a juggernaut, you know. It was just pretty much summing up NFC East football and basically what everyone expected within these division matchups between these two teams coming into the year. So I say great game. Obviously, tips your caps off to the Philadelphia Eagles taking care of business at home. Obviously, just holding it down, maybe bending a little bit, but not breaking, which matters most, because that's my mentality: bend, don't break. And just keep stacking wins. Obviously, they won everything to still, stay in Philly. It is. As for Dallas, keep your head up and keep pushing because you're going to be a team that's going to be in this conversation, whether others like it or not.
Yeah. Who's the best team in the NFC?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. They take care of the football the best. They have the best record. They have been better consistently, both offensively and defensively. And to me, their special teams is definitely underrated. They've been pretty good in those areas as well. I also feel like they just been playing more competent football. So I'm going to go with them. The rankings are what they are for a reason. And, well, we have been seeing through a couple of games this year those reasons.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, going back to the matchup, and this is why the two matchups from last year, regular season, I didn't take as serious because Jalen wasn't in the first one, or he wasn't in the second matchup, and Dak wasn't in the first matchup. So that's why I was looking forward to this game, because we're going to get both guys and we're going to get them both at their best. And so, and I've heard this a lot throughout the couple of days, but Dak Prescott was the best player on the field Sunday out of everybody on both teams. It's just the little things. It's always seems like with the Cowboys, it's those little things, right? Going for a 2-point conversion, make sure your foot is in bounds, right? Otherwise, you get those 2 points, right? Throw that ball to the end zone instead of 2 yards from the end zone. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to put CeeDee Lamb in that situation where he's got to dodge 3-4 defenders just to get there. Little things like that. Not taking a sack. When you're at first and goal at the 6-yard line, then you end up back all the way to the 30, right? Like those.
Kick the damn field goal at 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter because you're gonna get another possession.
Yeah, things like that too. Little stuff like that is what keeps the Cowboys from being what people, is particularly Cowboy fans, but people want this team to be. It's those things that they don't convert those things, unfortunately.
Yeah, for me, yeah. If any Dallas fans were concerned as to whether they could play with Philadelphia when it matters, I hope that they know that. I hope that this game kind of quelled them concerns. Dallas can play with the Philadelphia Eagles. Whether they win or not is a whole nother conversation, but they definitely won't be blown out. They definitely won't be embarrassed in a game, in a playoff game against Philadelphia. I agree at this juncture that Philadelphia, and I know I've been big on San Fran, but I agree at this juncture right now, this week, that Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC. That might change 3 weeks later, but right now, Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC, and that's just what it is. Jalen Hurts separates, not oddly enough, but separates the Eagles in his play from the 49ers, who I had previously as the better team in the NFC.
Right.
And it's interesting because the conversation about the 49ers is that Kyle Shanahan keeps thinking that he don't need a high pedigree quarterback because his system is so good. And here we are. And here we are. And in the words of my man Rod, Kyle Shanahan gonna lose his job because they ain't winning no. They're not going. I don't think San Fran wins it this year. So Slim gonna lose his job.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta agree with that.
And
they got a tough schedule. The Eagles got a tough schedule too. So
sure, of course they do.
We'll see how that shapes out. Dallas still has a chance to take the East.
100%. I just think that the Eagles. Look, man, they're finishing 4th and 1s at like 80 to like 90% somewhere with that damn
tush push.
Shove.
Yeah,
I ain't calling it that. I'm calling it the brotherly shove.
How did I know you was gonna say that?
Yeah, I don't like that name. I'm gonna call it the brotherly shove. So yeah, so hey Shae, first of all, appreciate you coming on, rocking with us, having some good football sports conversation. This is the last part of the show, of the show, our last segment. Some would say a fan favorite, not because they love it, but because they love to hit me or Trey with criticisms, whether it be online, whether it be text messages. I got a lot of coworkers who will literally come in on the next day and be like, bro, what the fuck was your guest talking about? So in an attempt to funnel negative comments, I want you to let people know how to find you on Twitter.
Okay, well, you can find me on Twitter at Shae Mac Sports. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok and all those right there. Right now, I currently only have my Instagram account reactivated, but I'm looking to get back on those apps extremely soon. So they'll definitely be able to start adding me again on there.
Yeah, send your hate mail.
You in Twitter jail or something?
No, I just needed a break. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So send your hate mail. Don't be not too much on Shae Mac because she just got finished on Twitter vacation. So not too much on her. The next question: top 5 Pittsburgh Steelers of all time. Your list. Don't I? So yes, you're gonna get hate mail, or I'm gonna get it.
And you don't have to rank them.
You don't have to rank them. Your top 5.
You know, I'm throwing Troy up there.
Yeah.
I'm throwing Ben. Without question, statistically, greatest Steeler quarterback of all time, statistically. I'm definitely throwing Mean Joe Green. You can't forget that guy.
Yeah.
I gotta put Hines Ward up there on that list. I have to. So now where we at?
We got one more.
One more, yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be a tough one. Who would I put up there? This is a tough one.
Yeah, no, look, I say it all the time. A lot of greats.
A lot
of Pittsburgh Steelers greats.
And then you can start looking at current players. So it's so hard, but you could say, listen, I'll put James Harrison up there as well.
I'm with you. Now, any Trey, I'm gonna give you the floor first. Any notables? What are you gonna get a bad text message about? Who was left out?
Well, what was left out? I think some people would say the bus, Jerome Bettis, is left out. I would say guy like Mel Blount.
I was looking at number 5. I was looking at it from a linebacker standpoint. You know, I had a DB, had a quarterback, had a receiver, had a D lineman. So it's like you could say Mike Webster as well. It's just so hard. So
many. It's a lot. It's a lot. And by the way, it's your list. It's your list.
It's your list. That's the important thing.
Trust me, I would never forget those guys.
Yeah, for sure. For me, look, man. I've been seeing a therapist, Trey, and I've been dealing with my inner issues, man. And I know this man got some issues off the field, and he got some things that maybe we don't approve of. And,
are we referring to Antonio Brown?
I got to put Antonio Brown. I got to put Antonio Brown on my list, and I got to do it. I just can't do it. I won't pretend anymore. He got to be on my top 5 Pittsburgh Steelers list. I'm not bold enough to start wearing his jersey again, but if we're talking about production on the field, Antonio Brown got to be on that list. You said Jerome Bettis. If we're talking about top 5 lists, I got to be extremely strict.
Franco up there too, Franco Harris. You can throw him
rest in peace. You got to put Franco on. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, that's a tough list for me, man. But for me, the glaring one that I'll stick to, I have to put Antonio Brown on any all-time Steelers list for me. For me. Yeah. Greatest
wide receiver in Steelers history.
In my personal opinion, look, if we're just talking about look, because I get it. A lot of people love Hines, and me included, by the way. Hines Ward might not be the toe tapping flashiest, but he gonna hit you. and that's more synonymous with Steelers football than anything that Antonio Brown has done. And when we're talking about the fabric of a Pittsburgh Steelers football team, like, we would rather a Hines Ward who gonna hit you and then make the play when it matters the most, as opposed to an Antonio Brown who is great at the wide receiver position, but you ain't got no highlights of him hitting a linebacker and standing over him. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm definitely putting Antonio Brown on my list for sure.
I'll never forgive him for popping Ed Reed like that, man.
I'll
never forgive him for that, man.
Hey, we forgave y'all for breaking Big Ben's nose.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Shout out to Terrell Suggs. Shout out to Suggs. Hey, Shae, this was fun.
Absolutely.
We certainly appreciate your time coming on here. And one last time, let everybody know where they can find you at on social media and your podcast and some of the things that you got coming up.
Oh, well, thank you for getting to that. So you could just find me on social media at Shae Mac Sports. All my accounts will be reactivated soon. You could definitely just find me on Instagram right now. But Shae Mac Sports will be my username on all my social platforms. Snapchat, if you still use that, is Shae Mac at Sports, but same person. And as for my podcast, I'm looking to get back into that soon. So a new podcast show would definitely be coming out 2024, which I'm definitely going to get into more detail about as it goes on. And yeah, you can just see me on there, follow my social pages, which will introduce you to my new content that will be coming out 2024. And that's all.
What's up. That's what's up. Hey, man, it's been real. We appreciate you. And look for a follow from me so I can see you in these social media streets.
Awesome. All right.
All right. Be safe.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shae.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Yeah, man. So that was Shae Mac. Like she said, she got some big things coming up in 2024. I don't got too much, Trey, but I do feel like we need to shout out Josh Dobbs.
Yes.
For getting that win. I don't know what happened to Jaren Hall. Did you know what happened to Jaren Hall? Who started the game?
Yeah, it's crazy because I thought they made the decision to start Josh Dobbs before the game started, and then this kid comes along and he takes the starting spot. I don't know what happened to him. He got hurt end of the first quarter, early second quarter, something like that. And Dobbs just came in and he ran the show.
Cooking. Yeah, cooked.
He ran the show. He ran the show. Big come from behind win against a team that, I know the Vikings have some issues, but you should beat the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know what to. I know what to make of the Falcons.
I don't know, man. I don't know that right now without Kirk Cousins and without Justin Jefferson that the Vikings are a better team than the Falcons. I don't necessarily believe that. And Cam Akers, I just heard Cam Akers went out and he's out for the year.
Yeah, he ruptured his Achilles.
Oh, Achilles, okay.
Ruptured his Achilles, yeah. Prayers to him.
For sure.
Get well soon for certain there. You might have a point there because we didn't know what to expect with the Vikings in this game. Like, we knew Cousins is out, Jefferson's not back. I guess the defense is still there somewhat. Danielle Hunter is having a good year so far. 10 sacks on the year up to this point. But now that we've seen what they can do, and look, the Vikings are in the 7th spot right now.
Yeah, I know.
In the NFC.
I know. I
know. They might get that spot just by default. Outside of Dallas and the Seahawks or whoever, comes out of the West in the 2nd spot, like who else in the NFC do you look at and say that's the team? Like,
yeah. I don't know. You won't get me into a playoff deep dive for the Minnesota Vikings this late in the show.
Yeah,
but I agree with you that they got a good chance of making the playoffs.
They got a chance, and if Josh Dobbs is the engineer running the show, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. And look, let's be clear. They getting smoked first round probably whoever they play,
Oh yeah,
but
that's gonna be either San Fran or Philly because that's gonna be the 2 seed versus the 7.
Right.
So
it might be Detroit. It might be Detroit.
You're right. It might be Detroit.
Could possibly the Detroit.
It could be Detroit. Yeah, and that's a division matchup too. So
that would definitely be interesting for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey man, if you want to get into picks, man, let's get these picks, man.
Well, since we're shouting out quarterbacks, don't we got to give C.J. Stroud some love too?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I guess the reason why I forgot about him is because I had already made up in my mind that he was that dude when he cooked our ass.
He's that nigga, yo.
Yeah, I had already decided that he was that dude.
Yeah.
But 5 touchdowns, what was it, 470
yards.
Yikes!
I think 3 guys had over 100 yards receiving. I think.
Yikes!
Yeah,
and then the go ahead touchdown for the win.
Yeah,
like, yikes.
with 40 seconds left.
Yeah,
40
yikes.
seconds left.
Yeah.
That was a great finish. I caught the end of that game. I caught Baker's touchdown for the Bucs to take the lead there, and I thought it was over at that point. But give this team, give this quarterback the credit, man. This team better look out. I know they got the Bengals next, if I'm not mistaken. That won't be easy for Cincinnati right there. So that should be fun.
It should be a fun,
That should be a fun game right there.
For sure.
So the only thing I had on my list, and I guess it's because I'm a Knicks fan and I watched James Harden the other night do his Clippers debut against the Knicks. Not sure if you caught some of that. Not sure if you're aware of how he played, but he had 17 points, 6 assists in his debut with the Clippers. Yeah. Anything? Just
nothing.
Is what it is.
Nothing.
Is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. All right.
Did he start? He started.
He did not start.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
he did not start. But I will say this: we had a chance to see him along with Russ, Kawhi, and PG on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, of course you would see it in a rotation.
Yeah. We had a chance to see that. I mean, needless to say, we beat them. I mean, we blew them out in the fourth quarter. I think that's just more about the Knicks getting up off the mat because we were 2-4 versus the Clippers, who were just still trying to, I guess, figure out how they're going to incorporate James Harden into the rotation and all those kinds of things. So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting because he missed, because he got traded a week ago, right?
Yeah,
week ago, and then he missed a couple of games, and then he was ready for that one. So
yeah. All right, well, shout out to him. But 17-6 ain't nothing to talk about in my opinion. Like that's good numbers for him coming off the bench. That's
kind of the standard at this stage of his career.
Yeah, sure.
I would imagine, right?
Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to him.
All right, that's what's up. Let's get into the picks, man. Man, it's not a lot of enticing matchups here, but let's go with the Panthers at Chicago playing the Bears.
That's Thursday night?
Yeah.
I won't be watching football Thursday night. Give me the Panthers. Give me the Panthers.
I'll go Chicago.
Yeah. I know Badgley or whoever that quarterback had a decent game, but yeah, give me the Panthers. I don't even really I don't know. It's like, Trey, and I won't stretch this, but this is the part of the season where I start just eliminating teams that are trash or not, ain't going nowhere soon.
Right.
So when 2 of them are playing each other, it's such a
it's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
But yeah, give me Carolina.
All right, I'll take Chicago. Here's another one I'm not crazy about. This is the Germany game. This is Colts playing the Patriots in Germany.
Give me the Colts.
Yeah, Colts are playing much better football than the Patriots. I'll take the Colts. So I was right. So it's Texans at Cincinnati playing the Bengals.
Give me Cincinnati.
You know what, man? I'm gonna go upset again, man.
Yeah, I wish, man. I really do wish. I really do hope.
I'm gonna go upset here, man. I'm gonna go Houston Texans here. I know.
I hope you're right.
I know they're coming off a high like that. Like the win, they coming off a high. But
yeah, but let's be clear. It was Tampa Bay. Let's be clear. It was. Tampa
no, sure. But
I hear you.
The way they won that, though.
Well, the fact that they was even in the game, that Tampa Bay was even in the game, says all I need to hear.
Yeah. They still trying to figure it out. The Texans.
But I hope you're right. I hope they beat Cincinnati.
We got the Saints going to Minnesota to play the Vikings.
Give me the Saints. Give me the Saints.
You know what's crazy about the Saints? Because, like, nobody's really talked about them. Nobody's really talked about this division, the NFC South, really all that much. It's just, okay, we know the Saints are probably going to win it, and we know that whoever they match up with in the playoffs, whoever that, I guess that 5 seed is, that high 5 seed, whether it be the Cowboys or Seattle, probably going to smoke them. Yeah, probably going to smoke them. So, but with this matchup, I'm gonna take the Saints with the defense. I think Dobbs is gonna get some different looks here with the Saints defense. Packers at Pittsburgh. I know this is their game. So yeah, y'all schedule, man. Y'all schedule's favorable as a mug, man.
I mean, but we still got to play Cincinnati twice. So, I mean, yeah, it's favorable. And look, man.
The home games, like Arizona's coming up. The Patriots are coming up. This one right here against Green Bay, who hasn't played well, the last several weeks. The Colts on the road, like that. You know what I mean? Like, but I agree with you. Twice Cincinnati, Cleveland again, right?
Cleveland again and Baltimore.
Ravens again and Seattle late December, something like that. Yep. So those are I think those are the 5 top ones, but the other 4 that y'all should get those. Yeah, I'll pick the Steelers in this one. But Green Bay, it's something I noticed with Green Bay, and Jordan Love hasn't played all that great, but he only been sacked 18 times this year, which is, I don't know if that's surprising. It's low compared to who the high is and to some of the other guys that's been sacked.
Sam Howell is the high, I'm assuming.
44 sacks for Sam Howell. And then the next couple of guys I think are in the 30s. And then after that, you got guys in the high 20s, mid 20s after that. So he's probably looking at this list, he's probably the 22nd least sacked quarterback out of 32.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't. What are you saying, that they got a good offensive line? What are you?
I haven't watched a lot of Packer games.
I was about to say, I don't pretend to have watched a Packers game.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I watched the opener against Chicago where they destroyed them, but after that, I haven't really paid much attention to them to really know how good their line is, or if it's more just Jordan Love escaping the pocket,
the ball, or like how they drawing plays. I haven't looked at Green Bay to draw anything from that. I need to make sure that I watch Tomlin's press conference tomorrow to see what he was.
I'm gonna watch that. That's the matchup I'm looking at. The defense versus Jordan Love. Like that's what I'm gonna be looking at.
I'll be honest with you. If I'm not mistaken, this team was averaging like 18 a game, or is it more?
Points per game?
Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna hold you. I expect the defense to look. We've been getting run on all year, so there will be some glimpses of that. But I expect the defense to dominate in the fashion that in Steeler fashion, meaning bend don't break, but we'll get turnovers type, type of thing.
All right, he's been a little careless with the rock. I've noticed that.
I expect us to get turnovers, like over 2.
I've noticed that. So we got Titans at the Buccaneers.
Give me the Titans, man.
Yeah. Will Levis played a good game against y'all.
He made some mistakes, but yeah, overall it wasn't a terrible game. And then I'm saying, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I like Tennessee against
and one
Tampa
thing
Bay.
I do want to say, shout out Joey Porter Jr. because he did some stupid shit in the game. Mm-hmm. But when it was time to lock up DeAndre Hopkins, and I was concerned about that.
Second half, right?
Good job.
Yeah.
He did a good job on DeAndre Hopkins when it mattered.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a couple of good games finally on this list. So we got the 49ers going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. I think that's going to be a good game.
I think that's going to be a good game. It's in Jacksonville and San Francisco.
In Jacksonville. And them 49er fans travel, so I expect to see a lot of red in them stands.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick San Fran.
They're coming off a bye. The Niners, that is. And they've had a very not so.
They
good
went to
3
the
weeks.
bye like some shit.
Yeah. But they made the trade, right? Chase Young. We're gonna see Chase Young.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna see Chase Young play for them.
I don't expect no impact this week though from him.
Sure. No immediate impact, but maybe maybe the Jaguars game plan a little bit differently now that he's there, and maybe he doesn't do what he does, but maybe some of the other guys get their rocks off. So I'll take 49ers in this one. Although my heart says to pick the Jags here.
I was feeling the same way.
My heart says to pick the Jags, but I think the 49ers, if we talk about big boy teams, and I think this is a big boy game, and if you're the Niners, this is a game that I think you got to get.
Yeah, so, I agree.
So, and then the other big game, we got Browns at the Ravens. You know where I'm at with that.
Yeah,
the Ravens there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to take the Ravens in this one too.
Yeah, I mean, even if you took the Browns, your tone's gonna still be the same if you took the Browns.
Yeah, but
unless you for a tie, I guess.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Fuck it, tie.
All right, I'm gonna mark that.
Yeah, fuck it, tie.
Falcons at the Cardinals. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, give me the Falcons.
So okay, here's another good game. Lions at the Chargers.
Lions.
Man, they coming off a bye too, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go upset special here. I'm gonna go Chargers here.
Okay. I don't know. Is that an upset? The Chargers are playing mid football right now, record-wise?
Yeah, record-wise, they 4-4. And congrats to Keenan Allen on crossing over 10,000 receiving yards.
For sure.
Against the Jets. Did you see that catch he did?
I didn't. I promise you, I don't even remember what Monday was, but I definitely did not have that game. I wasn't watching it. Let me say that. Right.
Man, you get a chance, man. Take a look at the highlight of that catch that got him 10,000 receiving yards. Crazy catch by him. Giants at the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, right.
Washington football team at the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yep, I'll take the Seahawks there. And Jets at the Raiders. I'm going to go Raiders here.
Raiders, yeah.
In Monday's game, Broncos at the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take the Bills in this one.
Yep,
no doubt. Big shout out to Shae Mac for coming through, man. Again, that was dope, conversations right there with her on that front. And shout out to everybody in the chats. I see X Squad Online Radio.
What up?
In the Facebook live chat. Appreciate you jumping on. To the folks out there watching us on YouTube, Twitch, and on our Twitter handle, we appreciate it. Continue to follow us on those platforms. The Twitter handle is at Barbershop SPOR2. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let your friends know. Let your peeps know. Subscribe to the channel, please. Also, the Facebook page. Click the like button. And if you're on Twitch, please follow us on Twitch as well. You could also follow us on Instagram as well. At Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast is where you can find us on Instagram. If you got questions, comments about the show, you can hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And if you're listening to this on the audio side, write us a review, whether it's on iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify, Apple. Let us know in review format what you think about this show. It goes a long way. And, man, bro, this was fun, man.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait for another one next week. And folks out there, y'all have a great week. Peace, love, happiness to all. And as always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Recording stopped. Trey, Frazier, and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut, cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.